This is Monkey World, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. With every animal comes a story. Some funny, some shocking. Dramas great and small. Today on Monkey Life, new recruit stump-tailed macaque Coco meets her first companion in years, old boy Gerald.
The worrying thing now is she doesn't really know what to do.
And there's a welcome arrival for golden-cheeked gibbon Peanut. Monkey World Ape Rescue Centre is home to 15 species of primates. Only 3 of these are part of international breeding programmes. They are the woolly monkeys, the orang-utans, and the golden-cheeked gibbons. Until now, it was just the woolly monkeys and orang-utans who had successfully given birth. But today, the park welcomes its first baby golden-cheeked gibbon. The proud parents are Peanut and Pung-Yo. In the wild, these primates are classed as endangered, so this is great news for the park and crucial to the survival of the species.
It came a little bit sooner than we expected it to be honest with you. We're surprised for several reasons. First of all, Pung-Yo is actually very young. He's only about 5.5 years of age. So he would still well be with his mum and dad and his family unit in the wild. And she's not exactly over the hill either. She's only recently just gone through sexual maturity. So out of all the groups of gibbons that we've got here, these were the last we thought were going to be giving birth at this time. Baby is now 8 days old, so really proving to be a strong little thing. Clinging on, suckling away like mad, and mum is being perfect, absolutely perfect.
Gibbons are known as lesser apes. And while all apes and monkeys change in size, golden-cheeked gibbons go one step further. Although they're all born blonde, at around 6 months, they begin an amazing colour transformation. First, they turn black with golden cheeks. The males stay this colour, but when the females, like Peanut, sexually mature, they become blonde again, with just a black cap. Because they are so rare, there haven't been many studies of these gibbons in the wild, so this baby offers the perfect opportunity to discover exactly when and how the colour change happens.
We can now make a photographic flip book of the colour change, where it starts, how it starts, is it the back, the shoulders? So it's a beautiful opportunity to actually make a real document of exactly what goes on and when. We assume that the baby is blonde because mum's blonde and that's camouflage. But gibbons don't have a natural predator up in the trees, so where it comes from, who can tell?
The park doesn't know how much time Peanut spent with her own mother before being cruelly taken for the pet trade, so it's hard to say how much of her instinct is nurture or nature. But from these early stages, it looks like she's going to be the perfect mum. Dad Pung-Yo may be quite young too, but he seems to know just what his role is.
Pung-Yo has either been very severely told off on day 1, or he's doing a really nice job. He's just stayed away. He really hasn't had a lot of contact with Peanut for a while. In the first 2-3 days, nowhere near her. Second day, having a quick peer. You all right? Yeah, okay, I'm staying over here. I'm out of the way, though. And today, they've actually been playing and grooming. And he's like a little kid, though. He's getting bored, and he wants his attention, and he's not used to not having attention and someone to play with. So he's happy, but I just want to make sure that baby's happy, too.
Over at the Chimp nursery, there's a young female who is having the time of her life. Johnny is quite a self-centred little chimp and can be a little precious. But she's also a sensitive individual, and when things get lively, she tends to keep out of the way. Recently, there's been a real change in the 7-year-old, and she's become a confident young chimp who's happiest in the thick of things. It could be because her only other female peer recently moved out, so Johnny doesn't have anyone to compete with. Also, at 7, she's starting to mature. Johnny is showing a slight sexual swelling. This could bring on a change in behaviour. Living with Johnny is a male chimp called Seamus. It'll be very interesting to see how Seamus reacts to her maturing. Though he's such a silly chimp, it's hard to believe he would know what to do with her. 5-year-olds Ben and Pip are gradually building up their confidence. They haven't been in the big outside enclosure for long. It used to be Pip who was the bravest of the pair, but now they've changed roles with Ben leading the way. For Pip, being female means she's cautious and considers the implications of being outside. She's well aware that her fellow chimps aren't always well behaved, but she probably worries a little too much. Johnny, on the other hand, couldn't be any happier, and these days she even has the privilege of being pampered by the dominant female. While Johnny enjoys this newfound confidence, down at the other end of the park, baby orangutan Dinda is about to embark on her new life with her orang family.
Hello, don't look at me like that.
She was rejected by her own mum, Roro. So a few weeks ago, the park tried to see if another adult female, Xiao Kuai, would care for her. Initially, the plan started well, but Dinda struggled to breastfeed, so the pair had to be separated. Instead, she's going to live with the nursery orangutan group. Last week, she met adult female Ame, who will hopefully become her new foster mum.
That's worth a sweetie. If that isn't worth a sweetie, I don't know what is.
As the meeting went well, she's now ready for the next big step, encountering her whole new family in the orangutan nursery.
Of course, Dinda's at the age now where she's just beginning to take an interest in life around her. You know, that age where all of a sudden she's aware there are other things to do other than eat and sleep and poo. So she's beginning to push herself up and look at people and show interest in whatever's going on around her. So again, this is a good time to try and influence her to think orang rather than Mike. And here's an orang.
Meeting adults is one thing. A bigger challenge is the boisterous youngsters, especially Aris.
No, don't taste the baby. You're not going to eat it.
Ame is the foster mum of the orang nursery. She loves babies, so hopefully she'll be the perfect mum to Dinda.
Hello. Don't you do that. Don't be a madman. You're a nutter, you are. You're tasting her for a reason. No, don't be silly. Don't be silly. Don't be silly boy. I think he probably is just what he is. He's a very rough little lad. But that's okay. We love him anyway.
Everyone seems to be taking a keen interest in Dinda. Or is it Jeremy? Ame has no milk, so Jeremy will still have to come in at feeding times. But hopefully Ame and the other orangs can offer Dinda the rest of the support she needs. Xiaoning likes everything her own way, and if she's not the centre of attention, she'll make sure she soon is.
Excuse me, no, you used to have these sort of feeds, but you're not anymore. Go on, get out of it. She's desperately trying to get all this down before she loses it. Good, go and annoy someone else. Oh, gone. Oh, God. No, it's gone, it's empty, look, nothing. Believe me, it's all gone. Oh, we're going to have a temper tantrum. Oh, talk about big baby. You are a brat. You're a spoiled brat. Look. Go over. Hey, no, stop it. Stop it. Let me just... I know what I can find you. Come here. You're... Yes, please. Here, hang on a minute. It's all right, Mike. I'll stuff it down my shirt out of the way. It's gone now. No bottle. What bottle? Don't worry. Hey, look, do you want a sweet?
Jeremy knows the way to a primate's heart is sweets. And as they only get them on very special occasions, they are all eager for their share.
Mummy, come over here, look. I've got sweeties. Oh, I thought that might get you over. Here we go. Hey, good girl. Now come back. Didn't buy me much, did it? That's sweet.
It's a good thing that Ame isn't paying much attention to Dinda. If she was too dominant, it would make it difficult for Jeremy to feed her. And despite the cold shoulder, Ame is much happier being foster mum to the youngsters than living with adults.
We need now to make this happen on a daily basis, and so that everybody can get used to everybody, and then Dinda can form her own place within this group. And, you know, then we'll have, as usual, we'll have the evolution of the group will revolve around that, won't we?
Living in the middle of Monkey World is a group of 4 capuchin monkeys. 17-year-old Gismo has been one of the park's most challenging individuals to rehabilitate. Unfortunately, some of the worst cases of abuse are right here in England. Gismo was one of them. Jim and Alison were made aware of him 2 years ago. They were contacted by the Ipswich Environmental Protection Officer, Elisa Davis. It's her job to inspect the living conditions of wild animals kept as pets. She felt that living a solitary existence in a filthy shed with no heat was not acceptable. Gismo had even begun eating away at his own tail.
Just terrible. He's already lost a fair amount of his tail. The question is, how much more will Mike Nathan have to remove in order to clean it up and tidy it up?
Sadly, Gismo did have to lose another 3 inches. But now, 2 years later, his tail has healed and he's finally managing to relax and settle in with his fellow capuchins. The primate care staff had to work very hard, and for keeper Julie, this long battle has been totally worthwhile.
We managed to get all 4 capuchins together. Got Tom, Terry, TJ, and finally Gismo. Obviously, Tom, Terry, and TJ have all lived together before, Gismo being the odd one out, and he has been a very fragile monkey. It's taken him a while to adjust to being a monkey and actually learning how to communicate with these guys and learn how to actually be the capuchin that he is. But he's getting there, and it's really wonderful to see him out and about with the other guys. Although at the moment we have to admit that he's not tending to spend too much time with them. He's trying to stay a little bit further away from them. But each day he gets more and more confident, and each day he gets a little bit closer. When you get one that's had such an experience as Gismo, that he's really quite messed up, it really does play a bit of an effect on the rest of the group, because they don't understand his body language, they don't understand what he's doing. Sometimes they'll misread. All of them have actually come from backgrounds where they're never going to be normal capuchins, so they've all got their own little quirks and their own little stereotypical behaviours, so he will never be the monkey he should have been. All he can possibly be is the monkey he's striving to be, and he is getting more and more wonderful each day.
The newest monkey to join the park is stump-tailed macaque, Coco. Before coming to Monkey World, she lived alone in a cage for 20 years. But her life is about to change. Today she will meet another macaque. Integrating Coco is vital for her rehabilitation, and the team thought very hard about who she should meet first. They picked Gerald, with his gentle nature. No one knows if Coco had any macaque social skills, so anything could happen.
My ideal introduction is boring, when they ignore each other. You know, this sort of shouting eureka and going and giving somebody a big hug and all that sort of stuff, it's dodgy stuff, because it does happen, but it's a recipe for, if it's that emotional from the word go, then it can very easily go the other way. No, we've got Gerald waiting up there in the top area, and we're just going to let him down. We're just going to let him down next to Coco, and then gauge the reaction, and then basically make it up as we go along. If it's all positive, put them together, or we'll just see how it goes. Come on, Gerald. Come on, big boy. You're a good boy.
Gerald is interested in his new neighbour, and his initial reactions through the mesh are positive. Luckily, it seems that despite her 20 years of solitary confinement, Coco does have some innate behaviour.
She's lip smacking to him. She recognised what he is.
She's more interested in.
She knows what he is, though. Come on, Gerald.
So far, the meeting has gone well, so Jeremy opens the slide to allow them full contact.
Well, that's perfect, really, isn't it? She totally proved that she knows she's a macaque. When he came down, she instantly did the submissive lip-smacking gesture. That was textbook. She knows what she is. Don't you? Yes, of course you do. But that was perfect. She behaved so perfectly. I mean, he's a gentleman anyway, which is great. That's why we chose him.
But unfortunately, Coco's macaque behaviour isn't as advanced as Gerald would like. And although he's a gentleman, he's becoming more and more frustrated by her lack of social skills.
You saw that then. He sort of did his walk by, and then he got up on the perch and did a He-Man, pose. I think she could have been a little bit more impressed. The worrying thing now is that she doesn't really know what to do, so she might give him the wrong message because she's so socially ignorant.
Gerald keeps trying to get Coco's attention, but it's not working, and he's getting more and more offended that his displays are not impressing her. He shows her he's angry, which confuses Coco.
Gerald? I'll have to break this up now.
Their squabble is quickly stopped and the pair are separated. Gerald goes back outside with the rest of the group, leaving Jeremy and a bewildered Coco to gather their thoughts.
The problem is she wasn't alarmed. She ought to realise that, she's been the dominant animal in her life because she's the only animal, and she has to realise that there is a pecking order here, and as the new kid on the block, you're going to be pretty low. We had positive interaction and then it went negative, so if we just do a lot of little introductions like that and encourage the positive and discourage the negative, then hopefully it will all happen in the not too distant future.
Back with capuchin Gismo, Elisa Davis, the environmental protection officer who helped rescue him, has come to see how he's getting on. It's the first time she's seen him in 2 years.
So different. His coat is shiny. He looks fatter, he looks happy. He's got fur on him, but the actual tail looks fatter. It's got all fur over it. He just looks a completely different monkey.
Although Gismo was neglected, he was actually being legally kept. Anyone in Britain can own one of these precious primates with the appropriate licence.
He had been previously licensed by the council for the past few years, previously to somebody obviously that I took over their job. I can't obviously comment on, the state he was in then or how long he'd been like that, but when I saw him, it just wasn't right. If we'd left Gismo where he was, I don't know how long he would have survived. I'm so pleased to see him like this, really am. When I first saw him there, it was just heartbreaking, but to see him now, it's just so great.
It's nearly bedtime for the park's residents, and for the youngest members of the chimp nursery, Ash and Rodders, nightfall means an exciting new adventure. The pair are now a year old, and they'll soon live with the chimp nursery full-time. So animal manager Jeremy is keen for foster mum Sally to meet them. Sally is the dominant female of her group, and she loves babies. She's made it her role to care for all the infants who pass through the nursery. She teaches them about the complexities of chimp life before they move on to an adult group. She's been the perfect teacher, but lately it looks like she's been losing her status.
Because she's a spoiled brat, and she isn't really bothered about the older youngsters, i.e. Ben and Pip. They've grown up a bit now. It's only babies that Sally really does. And of course, Seamus and Johnny are even older, so they're even more independent. And Lulu really is the policeman as far as those four are concerned, not Sally. So she's sort of evolved away, she's evolved herself out of a job. Sally's a bit like a fish out of water. She hasn't got the status in the group that she has when she's got little ones.
Jeremy hopes Ash and Rodders are exactly what Sally needs to regain her status. This evening will be their first overnight with Sally.
It's actually going to be good for her if I can sort of help cement a relationship between these two little ones and Sally. Then her status will benefit big time within the rest of the group. She's back in charge again, because at the moment she isn't really in charge. And we do like Sally to be in charge. Don't we, Sal?
Chimps, like most animals, can't resist a snack. So Jeremy has prepared a fruit basket full of their favourite goodies. Just like human babies, these two are wary of any change in routine. But Sally's a pro at this and leaves the pair to relax while she helps herself to the picnic. Gradually, Ash and Rodders realise that having a new roommate is quite good fun. Full of fruit, Sally again shows her chimp wisdom by building a huge nest. She's ready for sleep and tries to encourage the youngsters to join her in the comfy creation. But just like most little ones, sleep is the furthest thing from their mind. It's a good job Sally enjoys looking after babies, because it looks like she is in for a sleepless night. Next time, baby woolly monkey Julio leaves his life living with humans.
Tomorrow night, we've decided, is the first night for the rest of his life that he will hopefully stay the night with woolly monkeys.
And there's a shocking exit from the park for a capuchin monkey family. 18 months after their rescue, a court order means they have to leave.